Let's talk about me starting my journey through the artist's way. If you are new around here, hi, hello, my name is Haley. I am a theater and music teacher and performer, and on this cozy corner of the internet, we practice self-love and self-care to make life more magical, even when life doesn't feel particularly magical. The Artist's Way, for those of you who don't know, is a book that was written in 1992. Whew. And it was written by an author, and her name is Julia Cameron. And just based off of like very, very basic research, Julia Cameron is like well known for all of the writing, like poetry, playwriting, filmmaking, like screenplay, like novels, all of the things. And off of Wikipedia, if we are just talking about an about or a synopsis, The Artist's Way, A Spiritual Path to Higher Creativity, is a 1992 self-help book. This book was written to help people with creative recovery, which teaches techniques and exercises to assist people in gaining self-confidence and harnessing their creative talents. Okay, so the basic rules of The Artist's Way. And yes, guys, there are rules that you have to do with this self-help book. And don't mind me, I'm looking down at my notes. So basic rules starts with weekly reading. And guys, like there's a lot of reading. So if you aren't somebody that already like enjoys reading in general, much less like nonfiction / like self-help, steer clear. Next is something that is very specific to The Artist's Way, which is called the morning pages. And I had heard of that before doing or starting this, or doing research on this rather, and it was very fascinating to actually kind of figure out where that originated. And if you don't know what a morning page is, it is essentially something that you do in the morning, and it's supposed to be 3 pages of nonstop writing, essentially like your stream of consciousness. Doesn't matter if it makes sense, it doesn't matter if it's productive, just 3 pages nonstop. And then the last rule for each week is you do at minimum something called an artist date, which I think this is probably going to be my most like favorite part. What it is you at least once a week take yourself on a solo artist date, and you go and do something that nurtures your inner artist. That already is, that's kind of a lot. That's kind of a lot to commit to. However, like I am a stubborn gal, and I really, really love a challenge. And I really like to prove people wrong. And there are a lot of people on the internet that have started The Artist's Way, but then don't finish it for whatever reason. I tried to start this a few weeks ago when I was literally about to start a show. Like my show that I just closed, I was trying to start this like the week before. That's gonna be a big no. I tried, but then found myself failing because I wasn't prioritizing self-care. I would argue or recommend that doing this in a slower period of your life is probably best. So something that I am going to do though is I am going to make this more my own, because this was written in 1992. This came out in 1992. I don't actually know how long she worked like on this book. So this is at least 30 years old. So personally, I need to make this a little bit more neurodivergent friendly. First and foremost, this needs to have a lot less like religious tones to it. There's a lot of God talk, and I'm not about that. I don't worship the Christian deity in this house. So personally, like going through and doing my reads, I will be saying something perhaps like source, or like I work with goddess Aphrodite, Lady Aphrodite, so I might say Aphrodite. Who knows? But I do know that I will very much in my journey through this dull down the talk of religion, and I'm absolutely like more than willing to give like updates on how that goes, because I know that the religious talk is a reason why a lot of people kind of like steer clear of this particular artist's self-help book. Next, in terms of like the homework, I will very much kind of take that at my own pace. You're supposed to do this in 12 weeks, so like 1 chapter a week. I am going to listen to my mind and listen to my body, and if there is a week that needs to take 2 weeks, if there's a week that needs to take 3 or 4 weeks, like, okay, then that's what it will be, because I don't want to lose sight of like who I am throughout this process. This is supposed to be to help me, and if this gets to a point where it is not helping me, then I'm gonna like let something take a little bit longer. And I think having the flexibility with it is what will hopefully make it a little bit more neurodivergent friendly. I think this one might be a little bit more controversial, but in terms of like the morning pages, if I'm not mistaken, like it says in the book to not reread your morning pages. Quite literally, like, bite me. Like, I, even if it's stream of consciousness, I'm gonna be rereading these things, man. I just am. Next, like, this might be, like, a little bit more, like, controversial, but I really like my morning routine. I'm very comfortable in my morning routine. So with my morning pages, I'm pretty sure you're supposed to do them, like, basically like right after you wake up, which like I understand the appeal of that, but like I said, I really like my morning routine. Where my morning pages have started to generally like fit in for me has been like while I'm having like my first cup of coffee, which is usually after I've like walked the dogs, maybe like meditated for a moment. I'm already kind of like up and moving. That is generally like where my morning pages have fit in thus far. And I want to leave that like flexible, because if I forget to do my morning pages, like just because they're called morning pages, if I do them at 5 o'clock, like I still did it. And I also saw somebody on TikTok mention that she will take pictures of her morning pages, or at least like the most important parts, and bring those to therapy with her. And I thought that was brilliant, and I'm absolutely going to steal it. Now, I kind of want to talk through like what I really hope to get out of this. To summarize it, there are things that I really want to like unearth about myself. That's the best word that I can think of for it. There are things I want to unearth. There are things that are buried deep that definitely need to come out. I have done a lot of healing over the last few years. I've done a lot of therapy. I've done a lot of like stuff for myself, and I'm really happy to say that I'm at a point in my life where I love my life. I'm very happy, but there are still things that I am desiring / manifesting that I want. It's my job to get it. And that's how I see it. And having that realization, realizing that the only thing that is blocking me from achieving my dreams is me. It's not them, it's not the industry, it's not directors, it's not bosses, it's me. And I'm tired of it. So it's time to unearth some things, man. And having the realization that like I need to go through and look at like the toxic beliefs that I was taught while growing up, and go through and dig deep and find the ones that I haven't quite yet cleared out, and clear those bitches out. But really sitting and operating from I need to be a blank slate and be perfect to even just have a teeny tiny ounce of what I want to achieve in life. No. We're done with that over here. We're done with that. So come and hang out with me over at least the next 12 weeks on this journey, because I definitely want to talk about like artist dates that I do, journaling like with the morning pages, and how I'm implementing these types of things into my routine. So hang out with me. Let me know if there's anything specific you want to see over The Artist's Way. I will link the book down below with a few different places where you can get it. And any like questions that you want me to answer, just pop them down below.